is your great good fortune and privilege to be here to witness this, a new day for our city.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things you missed in House of the Dragon, Episode 9.
It is our fate, I think, to crave always what is given to another. If one possesses a thing, the other will take it away.
Yes, Princess.
For this list, we're looking at interesting details like references and Easter eggs in the episode The Green Council that may have gone over your head. If you haven't seen the episode yet, here is your spoiler warning. What do you want to see in the season finale? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. One location in Episode 9.
Where are we?
Just south of Kingsway. The Blackwater's this way.
Longtime Game of Thrones fans will know that the penultimate episodes to the season are nothing to sneeze at. In fact, they're often more memorable than the finale. House of the Dragon's The Green Council is no different, though it also joins the ranks of two other Episode 9s that only take place in one location.
My son will be anointed tomorrow at dawn. The whole of King's Landing must witness his ascent.
Granted, House of the Dragon is already less globetrotting than Thrones, but it is striking that we see neither Rhaenyra nor Daemon, as the entire episode takes place in King's Landing. The other two single-location Episode 9s were Season 2's Blackwater and Season 4's The Watchers on the Wall. The former also set at King's Landing, and the latter at, well, the Wall.
Ed! You have the wall!
Number 9. Candle in the Window. Seeing as there are no cell phones around to send texts saying, "Hey, King dead, enact scheme," characters have to get creative with how they get the word out. That is exactly what Talia does here by using candles as a signal for Mysaria, aka the White Worm.
My condolences on the passing of your king.
It's a pretty clever tactic, and one that was almost used in Game of Thrones.
You still have friends in the north. If you're ever in trouble, light a candle in the highest window of the broken tower.
While Sansa's in the throes of being engaged to Ramsay Bolton, her maid shrewdly tells her to light a candle to signal to her allies in the north if she needs out. She does, and even suggests Theon do this, only for him to snitch to Ramsay and for Ramsay to kill the maid.
You should hold on to your candles. The nights are so long now.
Sansa later lights it herself, but Brienne barely misses it. Number 8. Alicent refuses to play the game. House of the Dragon has done a tremendous job of sewing in shades of gray into its character development. While we don't side with Alicent per se, we do empathize with her perspective and refusal to be cold when dealing with dissenters. Though we certainly know what Cersei would say of her half-hearted playing of the Game of Thrones.
When you play the Game of Thrones, you win, or you die.
In our breakdown of Episode 7, we remarked on how Alicent's father Otto commended her ability to play the ugly game, regardless of her reluctance.
It was an ugly thing, I regret it.
We play an ugly game. And now, for the first time, I see that you have the determination to win it.
Here, we have another allusion to the game, as Otto once again commends Alicent, this time for her ability to get Aegon before he could.
Well played.
None of this is a game.
And yet you treat it as one.
Alicent rebuffs him again, but we know he's still a proud daddy. Number 7. Mysaria-Varys Parallels. Fans have already likened Daemon's former paramour Mysaria to Game of Thrones' Varys, seeing as they both deal heavily in espionage and spy networks in King's Landing. And this episode made sure to hammer home that connection even further.
There is no power but what the people allow you to take.
While speaking to Otto, Mysaria remarks that power is only an affordance given by the people, a sentiment Varys also seems to echo while talking to Tyrion.
Power resides where men believe it resides.
Clearly, they both understand the tenuous nature of power and how to best influence it. If that wasn't enough to bind the characters together, Larys Strong refers to Mysaria's network as spiders, the spider also being a direct nickname for Varys.
One of the little spiders is your lady-in-waiting.
Talia.
There are more like her. Even I do not know their number.
Number 6. A new Lord Commander. We knew Alicent's appointment of Aegon as the rightful heir was not going to go well. In fact, it still isn't. But it's who specifically speaks out against it that feels familiar.
Throw down your sword and remove your cloak, Sir Criston. I am your Lord Commander, Sir Criston. Cast down your sword.
After Lord Beesbury is so rudely silenced for questioning the council, Sir Harold Westerling resigns his post as Lord Commander of the Kingsguard, leading to Sir Criston Cole to take up the mantle.
I am Lord Commander of the Kingsguard. I recognize no authority but the king's. And until there is one, I have no place here.
Seeing as Aegon's improper succession already mirrors that of Joffrey Baratheon, it's even more interesting that Joffrey taking the throne also coincided with the replacement of the Lord Commander.
Your Grace, the Kingsguard is a sworn brotherhood. Our vows are taken for life. Only death relieves us of our sacred trust.
Whose death? Sir Barristan, yours or your king's?
Though Sir Barristan Selmy is outright relieved of his duty, it was secretly for a similar reason of not being a staunch loyalist to the house. Number 5. Aemond-Daemon Parallels. Beyond their being closely related, Aemond is already displaying striking similarities to his uncle Daemon in his young adulthood.
You will die screaming in flames just as your father did! Bastards!
Aside from both being exceptionally brutal, both are at one point the younger brother of the king, despite thinking they're more suited for the job. Although, in Aemond's case, his brother is quick to admit it.
I have no wish to rule, no taste for duty, I'm not suited. You get no argument from me.
If you needed a visual representation, this episode sees Aemond accompany Sir Criston in a search for Aegon in the streets of King's Landing. To conceal his identity, he hides his Targaryen golden locks underneath a hood.
I wish you luck, good sir, and my best to your friend.
Daemon employs a similar tactic in episode 4 when he escorts Rhaenyra on a night of debauchery, to put it lightly.
4 copper street rat in King's Landing we pay for our pleasures.
Hey, stop, boy!
Wait, I'll find him.
Number 4. Viserys' Dragon Dream.
The dream. It was clearer than a memory. Our son was born wearing Aegon's iron crown.
We've waxed poetic before about dragon dreams, prophetic dreams within House Targaryen that portend of coming events. From Aegon's Song of Ice and Fire to Daenerys' about her dragon eggs hatching, they always more or less seem to come true. And we can now add Viserys' to the list.
I saw it in a dream. As vivid as these flames, I saw it. A male babe, born to me, wearing the Conqueror's crown.
As he says early in the season, he foresaw his son wearing the Conqueror's crown amidst a great warring. Though he initially thought it would be his son by Aemma, Aegon does indeed don his namesake's crown, whereas Viserys' is left with his body. Speaking of Aegon's crown, another detail we noticed was it being placed upon a green pillow, a metaphor for House Targaryen now being propped up by House Hightower.
All hail his grace, Aegon, second of his name, King of the Andals and the Rhoynar and the First Men, Lord of the Seven Kingdoms, and Protector of the Realm!
Number 3. A new Targaryen sigil. Longtime fans of both series will know the Targaryen sigil as being a red three-headed dragon against a black backdrop. However, with the coronation of Aegon II comes a new sigil, that of a golden dragon.
Let the seven bear witness. Aegon Targaryen is the true heir to the Iron Throne.
This falls in line with the books, as the gold is meant to represent Aegon's personal dragon Sunfire. While we've only seen Sunfire in a single episode so far, we're sure he'll pop up more frequently as the Dance of Dragons kicks into full gear. One other subtle implication of the sigil's appearance is how prepared the Greens really were for Viserys' death. Kind of like championship gear for sports teams, they had it ready to go for once things became finalized.
Am I to understand that members of the small council have been planning secretly to install my son without me?
My queen, there was no need to sully you with darkling schemes.
Number 2. Yiti. Show watchers will know next to nothing about Yiti, a region that lies in the far east of Essos. but book readers will pick up on its mention here as a hint of things to come.
Seems you were mistaken as to Aegon's habits.
He could be in the hands of mercenaries, on a ship to Yiti. He could be dead.
Let us hope for your mother's sake that is not the case.
Here, Aemond offhandedly mentions it as a place Aegon might have run off to. While that might seem innocuous enough, the fact that HBO is reportedly developing an animated series set in Yiti makes us think it wasn't just a random name drop.
Circling the Jade Sea is the dream of every merchant, and the other side is the golden empire of Yiti.
Essentially a Game of Thrones version of Imperial China, the Yiti series could flesh out the world in breathtaking ways. Coupled with the mentions of Nymeria, it seems the showrunners of House of the Dragon are also planting the seeds of future spin-offs.
Princess Nymeria led her Rhoynar across the narrow sea on 10,000 ships to flee their Valyrian pursuers. She took Lord Mors Martell of Dorne to husband and burned her own fleet off Sunspear to show her people that they were finished running.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The Beast Beneath the Boards.
Beware the beast beneath the boards.
When the obviously prophetic Helena mentioned the ambiguous beast beneath the boards in the last episode, we knew to keep that in the back of our minds going into this one. Sure enough, not only does it come to pass, but Helena makes sure to remind us of the threat while talking to Alicent.
Your father. There is a beast beneath the boards.
Oh, my dearest love.
We weren't initially sure if the beast would be literal or figurative, but our questions were emphatically answered when Rhaenys and her dragon Meleys burst up during Aegon's coronation to voice her disapproval. We could feel something momentous about to happen, and boy did it. Still, we can't help but wonder if Alicent or anyone else will finally start to register the things Helena says. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.